Hey everybody, it's Taylor again. I know I missed a video last week, but it has been a busy week. I've gone back to work and we got a brand new puppy. Her name is Pixie and we love her very much, and we've been showing her all the love and getting her accompanied with her sister, Zoe. Our puppy that we've already had for 2 years, so my hands have been kind of full, but we're back at it. I just want to say once again up front, please subscribe to the channel. I am trying to get to 100 subscribers. We are currently at 28 right now. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you could help me and just hit the subscribe button, that would be super awesome. With that, let's get into it. In this episode, we're going to talk about H.R. 5, which is the Equality Act, and it goes and it puts the words sexual orientation and gender identification explicitly into legislature, like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which says you cannot discriminate a person for jobs, whatever. You can't be discriminatory based on race, religion, color, sex, all that type of stuff. And we're going back and adding more to it and saying explicitly you cannot discriminate based on sexual orientation or gender identification. Now, there was a Supreme Court case that happened in 2020 where the adjudication basically said that sex, when you can't discriminate based on sex, it covers both sexual orientation and gender identification. But this act actually goes in and explicitly put those words into the legislature that's already passed. And it doesn't stop at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It's also for things like credit and for home loans, that type of thing. There's this type of language in where federal home loans are given to people. You can't discriminate based on that. There's all kinds of different places where this is actually adding that. And it's not changing the laws, but it is putting the words in specifically. The next part about this bill that I'm going to talk about is where we start creeping into a gray area where politics kind of draws a line, and maybe the social sentiment is that line is in the wrong place, whatever, but it kind of gets in that gray area because it starts talking about public spaces, and specifically it starts talking about locker rooms and restrooms where you cannot discriminate somebody to enter whatever locker room they choose based on their sexual orientation and their gender identity. And that's the gray area I'm talking about. What is to stop someone from saying that I am this on Tuesday and I am this on Wednesday, and making other people uncomfortable with them entering their locker room or entering their what should be their private area to other people? And it's a societal norm. I get it. If we all had one bathroom and it was from the very beginning, nobody would think twice about it. But we've separated them out already. And to have these people that could potentially go in and abuse the system and, God forbid, hurt people that are potentially weaker than them or in a vulnerable position than them because they're not expecting it, that's what I'm kind of talking about, is this gray area where you can choose what you are when you want to and when it's convenient for you. And that's not to say for the people out there that are doing this because that's how they feel inside, and that is a totally viable and honest thing. That I get it, some people just feel differently inside. That is 100% true. But when you start getting to the point where you're infringing on other people's freedom potentially, or protection or safety even, then that's where you kind of have to step back and make sure that you're making the right decision. I don't necessarily agree with this initiative, but I would like to know how you guys feel. Do you think that making public spaces basically one public space for both men and women, such as bathrooms, locker rooms, is that okay? Is that good? Let me know in the comments down below because I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. The last thing I want to talk about in this bill are one clause and a couple definitions. And the one clause specifically is about discriminating against people for the wrong reason, or discriminating against them for the wrong type of discrimination. Say someone is Mexican and you discriminate against them for being Filipino or whatever. If you mistake someone and you discriminate against them for mistaking their gender identity or their race or whatever, even that is illegal, rightfully so, right? Discrimination is discrimination is discrimination, and that's where the line is drawn. But I thought it was interesting that they included that clause specifically. I could be off base with this last one, but sexual orientation is defined in this bill as being heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual, which basically implies that there are only two genders, or two genders to be attracted to. And don't know if Congress is trying to set a precedent. I don't know if they just didn't think about that, because I know that a lot of the more progressive community would like to say that gender identity and sexuality is a spectrum and there's non-binary and all that stuff, but Congress is very explicitly stating that there is a binary male-female 1-0 type of thing going on here. I don't think that they're trying to set a precedent or that they thought about it, but that is what the law says. That's all I have for this video. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It all helps the channel grow. Once again, I'd really like to create a community of people that are really trying to think about this stuff and look at our future and actually look at what Congress is putting forward and making sure that they're making the right decisions on our behalf. Because remember, they're representing us. They have our voices and are trying to make a society that we want to live in. But make sure that you hold them accountable. As always, thank you so much. Have a good one, guys.